Dissolving negative behaviors faster. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming Community. This is Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer, and I want to share insight and tools to help people be able to start identifying the why behind their behaviors. A lot of people out there are, in a way, teaching how to get rid of behaviors, but actually, there's no understanding. There's not the most effective way to be able to start making changes. So thank you for being here. If you're watching live, if you can type hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay, that would be great. And here we go. Now you can see me. So let's get going into this topic that I spoke last week. And I'm going to keep speaking about it because unfortunately, I see a lot of people out there struggling with trying to make changes with their behaviors. And unfortunately, it's because they're applying the wrong tools. And I use this analogy all the time. If I have been taught that the best way to make a hole in my backyard is with a spoon, I'm gonna think for the rest of my life that that is the best way. If I have been programmed to believe that, I saw my parents do it, I saw my grandparents do it, I saw most people doing it, so I'm gonna grab a spoon. And what I've seen in a lot of personal development is that they have developed a better way to keep digging a hole in the ground to make a pool in the backyard while using a spoon, but improving the technique. So I'm going to give you an example. Imagine that somebody's teaching you to first, pour water on the ground so it gets all a little bit soggy, it's a bit more, less hard. It softens up, and now you can remove the crap with a spoon better. Others have taught you that you can come in with a stick and start poking holes, so you remove a little bit the debris then, and then you come with a spoon and come in. So a lot of people are still using a spoon to make a hole in the backyard, and because a lot of people out there are improving that technique, they still think that it's the right way. And most of people out there, seriously, I've been studying this for many years, I feel that they're still missing something to be able to start making changes. And this doesn't mean that the changes are going to happen overnight, of course, but it's being able to bring more and more changes into your life. So understanding behaviors. I believe that we're spiritual beings living a human experience. So the spiritual side, of course, is going to love and accept what is. The ego side, the human side, without speaking about the enemy, but just the human side that has limited information and things like that, what mainly happens is that it's trying to protect you. Okay, so it's going to create behaviors to try to feel loved and accepted. Hey, Abir, hey, Mike, thank you for stopping by. So you're going to have those parts of you that are going to create behaviors to try to protect you, these so-called negative behaviors. But at the end, if we really look down into these behaviors, we're going to find out that these behaviors are protective mechanism. Today, I had 2 calls with new people that wanted to work with me, and we had kind of that getting to know each other, first initial guidance call to see if we're a good fit and everything. And in both cases, both of them, they were trying to force themselves to feel good, to feel happy, to enjoy life. And both of them were struggling. In both cases, they were both struggling with relationships, and they didn't understand why. So it's important that, again, we need to start understanding what is happening in the mind, how the mind works. As I always say, we have the human part that is seeking for love and acceptance, or another scenario is numbing the pain of the lack of love and acceptance. Numbing the pain of the lack of love and acceptance. So how could that look like in a practical thing, right? Seeking for love, seeking for partners. One of one of the people that I was working with, was talking today, she was telling me that each time she got into a relationship, she poured everything into the relationship. It even seemed that she was dating a guy for 2 months, and it seemed that she was dating him for years, right? Not just 2 months. So she was pouring herself in there because she wanted to feel love and acceptance. I have worked with other people that look for love and acceptance through buying stuff. They look for love and acceptance through having a nice degree, quote unquote, or a nice house, or where they live, or the car they drive, or whatever. So a lot of people are seeking for things to try to feel loved and accepted because of what they have, because they think that, you know, maybe somebody's gonna love them and accept them more if they have a bigger house, if they have more money in the bank, if they have a better watch, if they have a better, I don't know, phone or whatever. So a lot of people are buying things because they want others to feel good about themselves. Sorry, to feel good about them, because they're not feeling good about themselves. That is a big problem. As they don't feel good about themselves, they want to do things for others to feel good about them. That is going to make them feel, in their mind, they think that it's going to make them feel good about themselves then. The problem is that it's never enough. I have worked with people that have an amazing career, that are millionaires, that in sports, they're being really good at sports, but deep down, they found out that they were running for the next thing. Was it, you know, the next tournament? Was it the next million? Was it the next 10 million? Was it a billion, or whatever it is? People are in this race of not stopping because they want to feel good about themselves. So they create behaviors to try to feel good about themselves. Okay, so again, seeking for love. Perfectionism could be another one. Perfectionism is the perfect example of somebody seeking for love and acceptance. They want somebody to love and accept them, so they think that if they're perfect, they're going to be more loved and accepted. Okay? Now let's move to the other branch of the behaviors. We have the behaviors that numb the pain in a way. It could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be eating, it could be doing exercise, it could be meditation, it could be spirituality. Anything that we do to move us away from the pain could be a protective mechanism. I have worked with a lot of people that are into spirituality and they're struggling. Deep down, when they open up, they tell me, you know what, I've been in spirituality for 5 years now and I feel even worse and worse every day. So when I start asking them their techniques, what they're practicing, what they're doing, most of them are repressing their emotions. They have to put this happy face. They have pretend, they have to visualize positivity and all this crap. And they are struggling. Thank you, Mike. I'm hitting the pen. Thank you. So the problem is that, guys, is that what we have been taught is outdated. People are not realizing, because it resonates. When people tell you to be positive, yes, it really resonates because feeling the pain is painful. But if we don't really go through the pain, we're not going to integrate that part of us that is in pain. We're just pushing it away. So most people, as I said, are making the job of putting a pool in my backyard, making a hole with a spoon. They're making that technique easier instead of just discarding that technique that is old, that is not working anymore, or not working anymore, no, but it's really slow. It's going to take forever, right? To adapting it to the new things. The things that I teach are scientifically based, are based in spirituality and also science. I love spirituality and I love science too. And there is a connection. Unfortunately, many years ago, science and spirituality, or even religion, have been separated. But the truth is, there can be a lot of meeting points. How the mind works is many times we're reliving something from our past today. So imagine you're at work and you're looking around and suddenly you're feeling scared. And you're like, why am I feeling scared at work? And it could be that maybe a part of you was exposed to an environment where there was a lot of people and you were judged. And the mind is replaying that memory. So it's going to create a behavior maybe of, you know, getting sick. Could be the body gets sick to miss the meeting that I need to speak up, or miss the, I don't know, something, because I'm protecting myself, or fall into perfectionism. And then that is going to bring in turn anxiety and stress. And we start seeing all these things. So we got to be very careful with what's going on in the mind. And instead of trying to repress it, we need to get through the pain to find the wisdom, the light, and integrate that within us again. Instead of fighting with those parts of us, And in psychology, it's called subpersonalities. It's like another Tommy with a different point of view, a different idea, different thoughts, different emotions. It's like, it sounds crazy. It's psychology. Seriously, in psychology, it calls subpersonality when there's other parts of you. I call it other parts of you. So there's a part of you that wants to go this way, a part of you that wants to go this way, a part of you that wants to go this way. Type a one in the chat if this has ever happened to you, that you want to go one way and you end up going somewhere else. So you say, I'm going to do my taxes today, and you don't do it. I'm going to start dieting, and I don't start dieting. I'm going to ask for a raise at work, and I don't ask for a raise. I'm going to tell this person that it's bothering me how they're treating me, and I don't tell them. How many times have we found ourselves, type of one in there, many ones, if this has happened to you in the past, many ones, right? That you say that you're going to do one thing and you do some totally different. Or you say that you're going to stop doing something and you go do it. Oh, I'm going to stop eating this, and you go eat it. Or I'm going to stop, interrupting this person, and I keep interrupting. It happens all the time because it's not what we think consciously that is running the show. It's a programming that we have been creating since childhood and on in our entire life, over and over again, practicing the same scenarios. And it's very difficult to break them free with the ways that they're teaching you out there. So instead, I'm not saying that this is going to happen overnight, right? But it can happen as I start practicing loving and accepting every part of me. So there's a part of me that, is procrastinating all the time. So instead of beating myself up that I'm procrastinating, I need to go into, okay, what's the benefit of this? What is this procrastination protecting me from? I need to understand the mind to dissolve behaviors. I need to understand what's really going on. The more I fight with the mind, the more it's going to make it difficult to make changes. So if I created a narrative that I'm a failure because something happened at school, something happened at home several times, that it made me create the narrative that I'm not good enough, that I'm not deserving, that there's something wrong with me, that I'm a failure, the mind is going to say, Tommy, I don't want to confirm that. So what's the best way for Tommy? And this is unique for each person. For Tommy, what is the best way to protect myself from being a failure? In my case, is to get out there and do as much as I can till I am able to confirm that I'm not a failure. That's my case. Other people might fall into procrastination. They're so scared of getting out there and trying and failing that they would rather not even try. So what I believe, and this is something that I have thought, came up with, is that there are two main groups out there. And there could be people that are in one group in one area of their life and in other group in another area of their life. And then there's, in between, don't get me wrong. But the two main groups that I figured out that are people out there are these two. Okay, and it can change different people, different areas of your life. Okay, but you have the people that cannot allow themselves to fail, so they cannot stop. They can never really stop. They keep trying, even if they fail, they keep trying and trying and trying and trying. I kind of consider myself a lot on that side in many areas of my life. And then on the other side, we have the people that are too scared to get out there and even try. And I found myself in some areas of my life, like relationships, love life, in that area where I wouldn't go out there so much. I would be scared, hiding, waiting for somebody, like a woman, to make a first pass, to show interest for me to then open up, because I was so scared of being rejected again. But in what it had to do with, professional life, right? I'm on the other side where I cannot stop. And I'm learning, I'm still working on it, but, I'm learning all of this for now a long time, and I'm being able to slow down, right, more and more. But the idea is to be able to understand where we're coming from. So instead of beating yourself up that you cannot stop, or beating yourself up that you're stuck, not being able to move forward, is loving ourselves and say, okay, why am I doing this? Understanding, loving and accepting, showing compassion. Because some people say, Tommy, love sounds so woo-woo. Like, how would that look like? Okay, let's put it in actions. Compassion. Why am I doing this? Understanding, support, validation, acceptance. Would you agree? Type a two in the chat if somebody showed compassion to you, support, understanding. Would you say that that could make you feel loved? Yes or no, or a two in the chat, whatever, right? Two, yes, of course, it's going to make you feel loved. So there you have the small actions you can start applying to yourself. So instead of beating yourself up for doing or not doing what you would like to, start loving and accepting and trying to understand what's going on deeper. The more you go into the war with the mind, the less changes you're going to be able to achieve. It's not about going into war with the mind, it's about understanding it. It's about loving and accepting what is. Okay, I'm procrastinating because I'm protecting myself from feeling like a failure if it doesn't go well. Okay, there we go. That's your narrative. Now, the next step is, where did I learn this? So this is a continuation of what we started last week. Where did I learn this narrative? Why could I made up this in my mind? And let the mind show you a memory from your past. It might show you, it might not. But try to let the mind show you a moment in your past where you might have felt a failure. So in my case, boom, just popped in. I already worked it, but it reminded me, look, I was cleaning a table and the girl that I liked was in front of me and it was art. So there was some water paint on the table and there was these glasses with, dirty pixels. No, I don't remember now it had daughter water. And as I was cleaning the table, boom, I banged on the cup of water and I threw it on top of her. I threw all water with paint on top of the girl that I liked. I'm a failure. I'm, whatever. Yes, Abir, journaling can help too. Exactly. Yes, thank you. Of course, journaling can help in this process. So, boom, a memory comes up. Then another memory, my dad hitting me. Another memory when I failed at school in this, or I failed at blah. So I start bringing memories that the mind is using to prove to me, quote unquote, prove that I'm a failure. And I need to start dealing with those memories. If I just say, okay, I'm not a failure, that's not true. That's not true that it's not true. For the mind, it's true because it happened. So instead of denial, I need to start really understanding, say, okay, wait. Yes, some years ago, I hit this cup of water with paint and the water splashed on this girl on her t-shirt and I got her all dirty, right? So it made me feel like a failure. So yes, my action failed because I was trying to, flirt or something with her and I ended up screwing up. But my action failed. So I start processing this event in a different way in my mind. Okay, I didn't fail as a spiritual being, as a person that I am. My action failed. So yeah, there was an accident. Accidents can happen. So I started kind of recoding, rewriting the story as I'm the observer, analyzing what happened and helping Tommy in that case process this. Okay, yes, it was an accident and it can happen to everyone. That doesn't mean that you're a failure. Your action could have failed, but you still remain unfailed or you still remain a success. So it's helping that part of me process that event in a different way. So suddenly the mind doesn't use that to confirm that Tommy being is a failure. Because if being is a failure, there's not much I can do. That's why a lot of people are in the side of don't take actions in different aspects of their life. They're stuck, they're playing it small, they're procrastinating because they're so scared of trying and confirming, quote unquote, that they're a failure. So again, when we don't understand how the mind works, it makes it much more difficult to be able to start making changes. So we need to start rewiring. We need to start rewriting. We need to start recoding our mind, the way it thinks, the way it sees things in a similar way as I just showed you. Okay, a part of me, look how I would say it, a part of me believed, thought, felt like a failure because it banged the glass of water and spilled it all over this girl. So, okay, I understand that you feel like a failure because of what you did, but the truth is the action failed. You as a person didn't. It's like talking to your son, to your daughter, and trying to help that part of you understand that what it thought at the beginning, that I'm a failure, it's not really true. Because if you have a son that it was the end of the game, foul, he had to throw the basketball right in and he missed. And now he thinks he's a failure because his entire team, lost. What would you tell your son, your daughter, if they feel that they're failures because they lost the game? Because if they hit the hoop, maybe they would have won. Would you tell them that, yeah, oh yeah, you're a failure? Of course not. Hey, I understand. Look, what I would, if my son was here, hey, I understand that you feel like a failure. I understand how frustrating, how sad you might feel, or even how do you feel? You feel sad, you feel angry, you feel disappointment, you feel guilt. Perfect. It's totally normal to feel all of that, buddy. Imagine I'm talking to my son. Makes total sense that you feel all of that. Yes, I would feel like that. It makes sense. It is normal that you feel like that. You have valid reasons. How does that make you feel about yourself? Oh, that I'm a loser. Okay, I understand that you feel that way. It makes total sense. So I would put it the other way around now. So imagine that I'm trying to do something and I missed. What would you tell me? So I would put him in that situation. My son, what would you tell me? Oh, Dad, it's okay. We can all miss. What can we learn from this? And start helping him process what he went through in a different way to prove to him that he's not a failure, that his throw failed, but that doesn't mean that he, as a person, being, whatever, failed. So we start separating the being from the action. Most of the time, most people have it all together, a mess, thinking that they go together. Being, actions are the same, And I've heard this from many people. Like, what was it? You are, what was it? I totally deleted it because I hate it nowadays, but it's like, what was your actions talk louder than your words, like meaning like your actions, you show who you are. Something like your actions show who you are. Not exactly. Because if I'm coming from an unresolved issue, if I'm screaming at my kids, even I didn't do it, right? But if I slap my kid, does that mean that I'm a bad dad? I'm a bad person? No, maybe I lost it. Maybe I went through that as a kid and now I did that to my son, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. I need to work on it so I don't do it. I've never done it, don't get me wrong, because it was done to me and I didn't want to repeat that to my kids. I was able to break that cycle. But if you ask me, Tommy, was there any opportunity, like any moment where you wanted to hit them? Yes, many times. But I thank God didn't do it. So if I would have done it, does that mean that I'm a bad dad? No, it just means that I hit my kids because I have unresolved issues. So whatever you did in the past, the human side took over. But that doesn't mean that that's who you are. And the problem is that a lot of people identify with who they are. And that's very difficult to change. If I'm this, it's very difficult to change. So again, we need to understand how the mind works. We need to learn how to develop compassion, understanding, support, acceptance, because that's what we all need. I call it, all we need is love, support, understanding, compassion, empathy, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter, is we need to feel supported and loved. If we don't feel that, we're going to seek to find it on the outside, or we're going to seek things to numb. So if we seek to numb, we got a problem, because then a lot of people fall into different types of addictions. Even meditation is an addiction. I work with a lot of people at the beginning, they were using meditation to escape their pain. Oh, I'm going to connect with the universe. I'm going to feel happy. Hey, it's okay if you don't feel happy. How are you feeling? Oh, Tommy, I'm feeling so sad, but I cannot allow myself to feel sad. I need to choose to be happy. Okay. That reminds me of many gurus out there that are teaching people that they need to choose to feel happy. That's not the idea. Sorry, people, but that's not the idea. That is outdated. That is old school. That is not loving for yourself. That is authoritarianism. A lot of spirituality and personal development is driven by the ego. And it feels so good to push yourself to feel happy because you move away from the pain. It's like not going to the gym because after going to the gym, your muscles ache. Doing the inner work correctly, working on your hurting parts, unresolved issues, is more painful than going to the gym. So I've seen a lot of people that find it very easy to go to the gym. Not all of them, but a lot of people find it very easy to go to the gym, but very complicated for them to connect with their emotions, their negative emotions. This is the hardest work you can do in your life, but I promise you can be the most rewarding. That's why it's not easy. A lot of people are finding ways to move around from this through authoritarianism to numb the pain, to repress it, to ignore it. So be careful what you follow because it's not about authoritarianism. That's the ego. Control. Change is the ego. Love and acceptance of what is spirit. And I'm not saying it's easy at all. But if you want to truly be able to start making changes as a byproduct, not as the end goal of change, but loving and accepting yourself will bring change because that's how it works. Guaranteed. But it's important to understand again how it works and start connecting with that compassion, understanding, support, love. Because it's going to make it very difficult. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on social media, remember we're offering a 1 month and a half, more or less, free access to the community. So you can come in, join us, learn more about this, get some Q&A in, get some laser coaching, right? So take advantage of this promo that we're having. We just put the link underneath so you can join if you want to, and join us on Zoom to be able to get more help, understand more how the mind works, and start dissolving behaviors instead of trying to change them that is not working as you would like to. Stick around if you're on Zoom. Stick around. We're going to go a little bit longer. If you're watching on social media, thank you very much for watching. Sending love out. Love will change the world, I promise you, but it starts with us. Be the change you want to see in the world. How are you treating yourself? Treating others with love and treating yourself like crap is not loving either. So be careful with that. Try to sit down, as Abir was saying, start journaling, connecting to what's going on. Actions speak louder than your words. Exactly. There you go, Richard. Thank you for that. I didn't see it before. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Give me 1 second. Oh, again, YouTube canceled. I know it worked. There we go. Sorry. I wasn't sure if it worked. Perfect. I'm so happy because it did work this time.